This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Playing a team that good, I'm sure that it's good to see, the effort wasn't a problem, down the end. What'd you just think of that fourth quarter?
The effort wasn't the problem at all during the game. That's just how good they are. Okay. I mean, and I know that's easy to say, but y'all were here, you watched it. That's how hard they are to defend, how hard they are to score on, how frustrating it can be when they can switch everything on the perimeter and still protect around the rim. I've known Corey for a long time, and I just said to her, she's always had teams that you really worried about offensively. This is her team that you worry about on both ends of the floor. They can do it on both ends of the floor. They're going to win games in the 80s. They're going to win games in the 70s. They're going to win games in the 60s, and they'll win some games in the 50s. They have really assembled, not just they've put together a good team. There's a lot of people out there that went into the portal and just collected talent. They built a team around who they had coming back. I think the second that Charisma announced she was coming back, that was kind of the moment when we were like, I thought she was going in the draft, type deal. I think that was the point that everybody knew UCLA then as it continued to fall in there. They're deep. They can score inside and out. They can defend you. They can keep you from getting to the rim. We got there late because, in the fourth quarter, it has a tendency to even itself up. We did a good job of not quitting and making a run and showing fight. And I was really proud of our kids that came in there that have been that got us a lot of energy when they came off the bench with Jenna and Emery and Carly and Keats and then Christina too. So like the fight, still a lot of work to do, but I'm glad that we went up against a team that's, I think a lot of people are picking for the Final Four.
Yeah, and you've talked a lot, all preseason about how you built a schedule that'll prepare y'all for SEC play, even just with the turnaround, y'all playing Thursday at Florida State and then Sunday against them. What do you think this has done for the team, getting ready toward league play?
Well, last year we had to go to LSU and South Carolina back-to-back, so that's going to happen, and we weren't as prepared for it last year. So even starting back to that Wisconsin game, I don't know if it wasn't on a lot of TV, so people couldn't probably see it, but that game was very physical. Then the Marquette game was very, very physical. So our bodies over this 4 game, that gives us a chance. When you look at the schedule, we got a chance to fix some things now. And I'm not degrading any opponent that we have left. There's still good teams out there. But we get a day off tomorrow, a day to watch film. I think we have a chance to improve a lot between now and Christmas. In the past, sometimes we'd play these games, and then the next thing you know, we're right into league. And there's not much time to improve. So I think we improved that area of our schedule. It was intentional. And now I'm really anxious to see how we respond. I just left the floor out there. There's nothing harder than having a signing Sunday, signature Sunday after you lost. And I saw so many kids out there taking pictures with kids and making differences and young kids that stuck around. So I'm not worried about how this team will respond. I think they have respect for UCLA. I think our week was a good week. If you would have said during that stretch we were going to go 2-2, I think a lot of people probably would have just said, okay, not even knowing which 2 they were. We learned a lot, and I think you'll see it come out in the next 5 games.
Coach, I think it was in the fourth quarter, they had taken more threes than y'all. And I know, they were kind of creating good offense, but is that something that you want easy buckets inside, but maybe, against the UCLAs of the world, you need to jack up some more threes? Well,
with them, you really are selecting your mode of death, I guess. Everybody says pick your poison, but are you going to go not double her? Okay, well, then she goes 18 for 18 instead of 9 for 9. I mean, I don't know what she's shooting in the high 70s. If you don't give those, then she has that type of night. But that's what I said. They've assembled a great team, because if you do that, then she's become a really good passer. She used to be a turnover. And I think, she only had 3 tonight, but we doubled her a whole bunch. And she had, I don't know if she got any assists, but a lot of times it led to the next pass. So it really is pick your way to what you have to defend. And with their shooters around them now, that's why I'm saying I think they can win a lot of ways. We had decided that we were going to try to flood and scram and keep her guessing. I thought she was very poised, played beyond her years. You can't speed her up. And Kiki Rice is really growing into the type of a leader on the floor that gets them in their stuff. I didn't feel like, even though I think we turned them over 22 times, but that's a little bit misleading. that number's a little bit misleading. I thought they did a really good job controlling the pace, keeping us from running in transition with their defense. So I thought it was a really complete effort on their part. I'm sure when we look at it, we're going to find a lot more good than I feel right now because we don't like to lose ever. But I think there was probably a lot more good in there than I'm recalling right now. Well, how we're going to score. I know I've got to do a better job of finding us a few more open shots. We've got good shooters. We have not shot the ball to the level of shooters that we have on our roster. And that comes back to me getting them better shots. We keep kind of twisting and tweaking and finding areas. And I think from time to time we find it, but there's still just a few too many empty possessions for us. So I'll spend a lot of time with film. I think now our roles are becoming very, very identifiable. We've got a few kids that are starting. We're sore, like Sailor's in a boot, Sam's in a boot, Max got a boot on a lot of times. So I was really trying to be conservative of their time there. And then we made that great run. I mean, I was thinking about putting them back in, but I was like, that group's doing such a good job. I'm not going to do that. So hopefully we'll take these 4 games, recover tomorrow. Simone Rush and her team, Jada and Cal and Diane, they'll be the most important people in the building tomorrow, doing rehab and prehab, getting these guys ready for this this ends a segment for us. Y'all know we talk a lot about segments of the season. This was kind of the end of another segment. I think we're 7-2. I think we're in a good spot. I've been updating every morning. They said that the net starts to come out in early December. So I'm going to look for Narita to nod at me. It's early December. I don't know what early means. Probably this week, huh? I'm anxious to see where we fall in that thing. I think we all know that, Murray State's been playing good. Monroe hadn't lost since they played us. I haven't looked to see what the other teams that we've been playing scores-wise have been doing, but I think through 9 games, we know an awful lot about this team and our roles.
Hey, Coach, second quarter, obviously 15-0 run for them. They shoot almost 70%. What did you see from UCLA that allowed them to open up a little bit?
What I've been talking about, that you get one thing stopped and it's this, and you stop that and then it's this. And, that's what they do. They work at it. They've got a really good system. You guard one thing and they get to the next one and they got a player standing there wide open. And you guard 3 actions in a row, and we got her to pass it out, and we won the first closeout, and we won the second closeout, and then they win the third closeout. So maybe there's some things. I don't know that we could have played any harder. Maybe we could have played a little smarter. I think we'll look at that. That's the 15-minute. That's probably the 15 points we'll watch. That's the type of team I have now. They don't want to watch the good stuff. They want to watch the worst of the worst. So that's probably what we'll watch. And I'm terrible at setting up here and remembering some of those things. So I'm probably not giving you a very good answer. But to me, it felt like we would do 3 things right, and then they'd make us wrong on the 5th. Or they'd get an offensive rebound and kick it out and hit a 3 or draw a foul. It just felt like during that run, and probably should have taken a timeout. Looking back at it, I am learning with this team that they can be coached through a timeout. That run probably got away from us a little bit. And that was the separation. That was where the separation really occurred.
And then you touched a little bit on my next question, but we know obviously you like to break the season up into segments. And we asked you after the first segment what you've learned about this team. What's new that you've learned after this last segment?
Well, that they are very, very coachable. Like, they want to be coached. And that hasn't been true of all of our teams. They truly have learned to talk to each other in a manner. I give Lacey Gowire a bunch of credit for, we did some Enneagram stuff, and anybody that knows me I'm not into some of that personality stuff, but it's really helped us. I think our kids are listening in film. I think they're watching in film. I think some of our adversity has pulled us together as a unit more than ever. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the job that Mac has done as a leader. She's kind of felt like her team a lot last year, but there were times that she wasn't maybe ready to do. This is her team, and she's been able to lead us through the rough times. When we talked from day one that we knew that this wasn't going to be the smoothest of missions because of how we challenged them with it. And I've learned that they have taken from losses and wins and learned from it. We are improving. And I'm not sure I've had a team through 9 games that I could have honestly set up here and been honest with you about and said we've improved since day one. I think we have. Yeah. 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 You find your one on your team. And if that one is tired, then they're all tired. And I know who my one is. She's a little tired. So rest will be very important the next day and a half. And we've gotten good. We've gotten good at using our time, the day and a half that we'll use to prepare. But in basketball, because of the quickness of the turnaround, I think rested is important. Even if we're a little rusty in the execution, I need them to be rested. So we will take tomorrow, and then Tuesday will be very, very light. We'll get after it again on Wednesday. I didn't even see what 4 teams got in. Who got left out? Yeah. I owe her one on that. So Alabama. So Texas plays Michigan. No, Washington plays Washington. Oh, Alabama, Michigan. Yeah, they're pretty good. Interesting. But to your point, yeah, I think it's very important. Very, very important. And it's not so much game minutes, it's how we practice. Like, it's up to me in practice how hard we go. I need them to be ready to play 30 to 35 minutes, those starters, and then everybody else 10 to 15, whatever they're doing. So it's not what we do in the games, it's what we do in the practice and the recovery the next 2 days. So that's why I was saying I think Simone's group and then what Tyler does with them will be real important, because we'll have to do a lot of film work to be ready for La Tech. I think they won tonight. I think or they played somebody really close. They lost to Vanderbilt close, right? Yeah.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.